If you are working on any position in data science and AI domain, or you are willing to make career in similar field, you should know the importance of datasets. Datasets are the main backbone of majority of work. Without datasets, how we are going to analyze the data? How we are going to build machine learning models, deep learning models, or NLP models? On internet, there are various websites where we can get the data, and few of them are. This is the first website that is officially from Google, datasets search.research.google.com, and in this datasets, basically this is a dataset search engine. And if you are going to search, for example, I need a dataset for car, let's enter the car and search it. So we will get hundreds plus dataset found on this particular search engine. And this basically search engine, what it does, there are various websites where datasets are hosted. So it searches on those websites and it gives the results here. For example, this is the first dataset which this search engine got from this data.world website. This second dataset got in Kaggle. The third dataset got in Kaggle. So this is the official search engine from Google, which help us to search the datasets in internet. And even directly you can search on other websites also. Like this is one of the popular website where we can have the datasets. So you can go to kaggle.com/datasets and you can search the name here. You will get the dataset. Then even if you want some government datasets related to India, I'm specifically talking. So data.government.in, you will get the websites here. There is one more website available named as, this is basically a UCI machine learning repository. If you go to this URL, archive.ics.uci.edu/datasets, here are some of the websites, datasets you can see. And you can just click on the datasets and you can download it. These datasets you can download and you can use for testing or researching purpose. But these datasets, sometimes they are not suitable for our daily work. These are only for testing and experimentation purpose we can use it. Nowadays, in majority of the companies, datasets are available. But still, there are few companies where datasets are not available. So they are in still process to collect the data or generate the data. So in this video, we are going to learn what is synthetic data, why synthetic data is important, and how we can generate the synthetic data. Let me show you one data set. So this is the data set you can see. This is basically sales data. In this data set, we have transaction ID. These are all unique IDs. We have around 1000 records. Let me scroll down so you can see the data set. So we have around 1000 records. The transaction ID is unique for each record. Then we have region. Regions are basically Asia, Europe, North America, Middle East, etc. Then we have product category. So products are from furniture category, electronics category, clothing category, automobile category, and so on. Sales date is also there. This data is from 1st January 2023 to yesterday, that is 30 of October 2023. Then we have customer ID. In customer ID, you can see the first two are the letters, and after that there are 6 digits for every customer ID. Then we have product ID. Then we have product name. Then we have quantity, that is the ordered quantity. Then we have unit price of each quantity. Then we have how much discount is given, and then what is the total sales. So this total sale is calculated based on these 3 things, right? For example, if you see for this record, the 10 quantities there, unit price is 37.97. So unit price, so 37.97 into 10, that is going to become 379.7, and 5% discount is given. So if you are going to calculate this, this is around 360.715. So this total sale is calculated with the help of this. So my question is, right? So if I'm going to show this data set to you, this data set is a real or it's a synthetic. So it looks like a real, right? But it's not a real data set. We have generated this data. So this is for a fake data set that we have generated. So synthetic data set means creating a data set that looks like a real data set, but it is not a real. And we need to create this synthetic data set for many reasons. Few of the reasons I will tell you. So let's assume you joined the company recently and you have not still received any credentials of database. So you don't have the access of database. So you don't have a data set. But your manager says that, can we create a synthetic data and can we just test, or can we create some prototype, a particular model using a synthetic data? Yeah, so we can create a fake data set. We can create a synthetic data set and we can create a prototype model on those particular data sets. So for model prototyping, this synthetic data set generation can be helpful. Second benefit of synthetic data is protecting the privacy. Sometimes we need a data set for testing or research, but we can't use the real data set because it might have some personal information or sensitive information. So we have to create the fake data to keep things private. Third advantage is fixing data problem. Real data sets are not always perfect. Sometimes it is unbalanced, it is incomplete, or it is not as per the requirements. So we can create the fake data and use it for our computer programs. Even we can save the money with the help of synthetic data, because collecting a real data set can be expensive. Fake data can be cheaper, we can create easily, and we can build the prototype models or test models on those particular synthetic data. Sometimes we have data set, but we want to improve the quality of data sets. We can use synthetic data generation. Even we can use synthetic data generation for testing and learning purpose. Without real data, we can make the practice on a specific algorithms. We can build some models, we can test it out. Even we can hide the identities. So if you want to keep the people's information secret, then we can generate the fake data and we can build the various machine learning, deep learning models. Also, it offers many benefits, but I think these benefits are enough. So there are various methods using which we can generate synthetic data, such as random generation, statistical modeling. Even some algorithms are there in machine learning and deep learning using which we can generate synthetic data. Today, out of these all techniques, we are going to see one way to generate our own data set that is related to our project or that is related to our use case. So let's go to the computer and generate the dataset. So so I have created this directory, generate dataset. I'll go inside this and I have this empty Jupyter notebook file. So this is that same file which I have shown, that dataset we have generated, but we will generate again. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this path, open Anaconda prompt, switch to the same directory, activate the environment, and open the VS Code in the same environment. So let me show you the dataset again. So this is a dataset you can see, which we have seen now. So if you scroll down, you can see, so this dataset looks like a real, but actually it's not a real, it's a fake data that we have generated. And if you want to see how basically we can create this dataset, this video is for you. So I'm using VS Code as IDE, but you can choose any IDE. I'm using Python as a programming language, and I'm going to use NumPy library, Pandas library, random library, and along with this I need a datetime library as well as string library to create this dataset. So let's do one thing now. Let me close this now. Let me close this. Let me go to this first notebook. So this is the blank notebook which I have created, and in this blank notebook we haven't written any code. You can see it's a complete blank notebook. So first of all, we will select the kernel, and this kernel I'm going to select as this particular test kernel. If you're watching this video first time and you don't know what is Anaconda environment, how to set up Anaconda environment, and you don't know how exactly we are going to create virtual environments, I recommend you go and watch the previous videos in the playlist one by one, so you will understand this entire process. Now let's see one by one, right? So first of all, we need to import some packages, and those packages should be already installed into your environment. So I need basic packages only. So I need NumPy, I need Pandas, I need random, I need string, and datetime. So datetime is already built-in module, string is already built-in module, then random is also built-in module. Only NumPy and Pandas we have to install. So if it is not installed, you can install these particular packages. So if you want to install NumPy and Pandas, so what we can do is basically we can go to terminal. So just click on here, go to terminal, and just write the command pip install NumPy, pip install Pandas. So you can write pip install NumPy. So this will install the NumPy package. It is already installed, that's why it says requirement already satisfied. So then pip install Pandas. Other three packages which already we have in built-in Python only, so there is no need to install. So let me close this now and then just ensure that this should be installed into the same environment. So currently the PowerShell is activated, so it is installing in the same environment. So if we are going to open command prompt also, you can say that environment is active. You can install from here also. Even you can install from the cell also, or you can install from Anaconda prompt also. So if you go here and if you are going to type the command here, pip install NumPy, pip install Pandas, that will also work fine. That's not a problem. So let me minimize this. Let me come back to here. So first we need to import the packages. Right now we will import these three packages. Import random. So it will generate the random data. We need NumPy, we need Pandas. So let's execute this. And so it has been imported now. Let us create one variable, how many number of records we want to generate. So number of records, number underscore records is equal to 1000. So we are going to create 1000 records. You can set any value basically. So let's execute this. It has executed. Now we want to generate transaction ID. So let me come back to here and let me show the preview of datasets. So first we will generate the transaction ID. So in transaction ID, you can see the length of transaction ID is 12. And we have basically uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and digits. And these are basically random combination of this. So we want to generate that, and yeah, it should be unique. So what we will do, right, to generate the transaction ID, right? So we will import the string module. We can import at the start also, that's fine. Then we will write one function. In Python, we can write the function with the help of dep keywords. So generate transaction ID. Length we are going to set as a 12. That is our constraint. You can change this length as per your requirement. That's not a problem. Then inside the string, we have ASCII letters. Basically, it's a capital plus small letters, capital plus lower case letters. Then we have digits also, and we are going to create a transaction ID that will pick the random characters from the strings as well as digits, and it will return the transaction ID. So let's execute this particular function. It has been executed, and let's generate the transaction ID. So we are going to generate the transaction ID in one list, right? So transaction ID is equal to list started. So how many number of transaction ID we have to generate? 1000. So we'll run one loop for underscore in range 1000. And what we are going to do, we are going to call this particular function. So 1000 times this function will be executed, and every time we'll get the new specific transaction IDs. So there is a possibility that they will repeat the transaction IDs also, but it's a very rare possibility basically. So that criteria we are not going to consider right now. So if you are going to execute this now, you can check it out. So let's print a transaction ID. Let me copy this and let us check it out. You can see. So we got this particular transaction IDs, and if you're going to see, we got 1000 transaction IDs. Let me just delete this particular cell also. That's fine. So we have generated the transaction IDs. The first column, right? You can, if you see, the first column is generated. Now in second column, this is the region column, right? In region. So by the way, when you are going to use VS Code first time, right, you will not able to see. This is the CSV file. If you are going to right click on this, you will not get this particular open preview option, because to get this option, you need to download one extension, that is CSV viewer, Excel viewer basically, right? So search for Excel viewer, install this extension, then you can view the Excel in this particular table format. So when I'm going to click on this particular button here, you can see how many number of regions are there. We have Asia, Europe, Middle East, North America. So I want to assign some random any region for any of the record. So what we will do, let me come back to here. Yeah, so what we are going to do, so again we are going to run a loop for underscore. So what is underscore basically, I will tell you. If you want to iterate a loop and you are not going to use that particular variable, you are going to discard the variable, you are not requiring that variable. Normally if variable name is underscore, it means that we actually don't need that particular variable, but for iteration we need that variable. That's why even you can give any name to this particular variable, I, J, K, anyway, anything, that's not a problem. So the number of records is basically 1000. So we are iterating this loop 1000 times, and we are going to select any one value from this, and this random.choice is basically going to give that. So if you're going to execute this, so let me just show you, right? Let me just copy this region and let us check the region now. So you can see the for first case Asia came, second is Middle East, third is Middle East. Randomly it has given basically from these four specific values. So you can give 5 values, 10 values, 15 values, depend as per your requirements. Yeah, so this is the region. Similarly, we can generate product category also. So product category again same, random.choice. These are the product categories, 4 product categories are there. If you are having 10 categories, you just specify a few more categories here, and you are just going to run basically it's a list comprehension. You are going to use iterate the loop for 1000 times, and you are going to choose one value from each time, and you are going to insert into the list. So that's the product category. So if you are going to see product category, so let me just copy this, let me just execute this, let's see. So see, we got this particular product categories. Now next we have to generate the sales date. So for sales date, we need basically start date and end date. So start date we are setting as 1st January 2023, and the end date is basically 30 October 2023. You can give any date. So this is the basically range. Minimum range will be the start date and maximum will be end date. And in between these two dates, we are going to pick the dates. So let us execute this. And this is basically date time is available in this date time module. That's why we are going to import this. This module import you can do here also at the start also. That is also fine. Let me execute this. Now to generate the sales date, we are going to write one function, generate a random date. For this random date, this is the function. This will take 2 parameters, start date and end date. And at the end, what you are going to do, you are going to format the specific date with year, month and day format. Let's run this and let's call this function. So we are going to call this function 1000 number of times. So for underscore in the range, number of records is basically 1000. And we are going to call this function, we are going to pass start date and end date, which are already here. So yeah, so it has generated. If you want to verify, you can verify just start date and end date. You can see the dates are generated randomly. Now next is basically generate customer ID. For customer ID, let me just again, let's see. So transaction date generated, region generated, product category generated, sales, customer ID. If you see the format of customer ID, in every customer ID we have starting at starting we have 2 characters followed by 6 digits. So for this, what we will do, we'll write a function. So generate customer ID. So here what we are going to do, we are going to take 2 uppercase letters. So we are going to pick random 2 uppercase letters, random.choice, and it is going to join, basically it will make a string. Then we are going to pick 6 digits, random digits combination, 6 digit combination, that will be digits, and then we are going to just concat uppercase plus digits. It will concat the 2 strings. The customer ID will be generated. It will return the customer ID. And now let's execute. It has executed now, and let's create the customer ID in the same way, right? We will call this customer ID function for 1000 number of times. So it will generate the customer ID. So let's execute now. Let's check now. Customer ID, copy. This is copy, and we will paste it out, and we will check this. So you can say this. So we got the customer IDs also, right? Now next is product ID. So what is the criteria for product ID? You can see. So see, product ID is basically number, and this number range we can specify. So from 10,000 to 20,000, any specific number you can give basically. So let's say numpy, right? Inside numpy dot random int. Minimum number is basically 10,000, maximum number is 20,001. So 10,000, 20,000, it will choose any random number, random integers. How many numbers will be generated? Number of records will be basically 1000. So 1000 numbers will be randomly picked from this particular range, and it will be under product ID. So let's run this particular cell, and let's check the particular value, product ID are generated or not generated. You can see we got the 1000 random product IDs. Let's go for the next. After product ID, we have product names, and for product names, what we are going to do is basically, again, we are going to write simply product 1, product 2, product 3. If you have a product list, you can just give that product list also. So if you are going to execute this, let's check product name. Yeah, you can see product 3, product 12, and so on. It has been generated now. Now next is product quantity. Yeah, to get the quantity, it's again very simple, right? So we can go for numpy.random integer 1 to 10, 1 to 11. 11 will be excluded basically, and 1000 numbers will be given as a quantity. So it will be generated. We can generate unit price also, right? So for unit price, we need to generate float numbers, and float numbers will be given by this uniform function in this random module. So float number from 10 to 100 will be generated. That is basically 1000 numbers will be generated, and it will generate fractional numbers. So after decimal point, there will be 5 to 6 numbers, but we will round it up to 2. So maximum decimal points, after decimal points, we will have only 2 digits. So if you are going to execute this, unit price will be generated, and let's see basically price. Let us run this, and let us verify. See, you can see this is the unit price. Let's generate discount. Let's assume we are going to generate discount up to 30%. So this value is going to give 0.3. So maximum discount, how much we are going to give? Let's assume 30%. So 0 to 0.3. We are going to use uniform. Basically, it will generate the float values, and we will round up to 2 digits. So let's execute this, and let's check basically the discount is generated properly or not properly, right? You can see, so 0.07, 7% discount, 0.03, 3% discount. So 0.12 means 12% discount, and so on. So 1000 values are generated basically. Now last column we have to generate, and for last column is basically total sales. So right now what we will do, we will create the total sales column, and we'll assign only 0 as the total sale. We are not going to calculate the total sale with respect to unit price, quantity, and discount. So number of records are 1000 into, we will make a list with only one element as a 0. So there will be a list of 1000 zeros. So the calculation we'll do later on after creating the dictionary. So let me show you this total sales. So what's the total sales? This is the total sales. So we have 1000 zeros. You can see 0, 0, 0, 0, 1000 zeros are there. So we haven't calculated the total sales now. Now currently, if you see, right, all this data is present in the list. So we need to generate the data set in terms of CSV file. To get the CSV, we need data frame, and we need to convert. If you want to get the data frame, right now we have a list. So what we will do, we will generate the dictionary from this list. So how we are going to generate the dictionary? So dictionary name is data. First, our column is transaction ID. The transaction ID list is passed. Second, region we have assigned here. Product category we have assigned here. Sales date we have assigned here. Customer ID we have generated. Product ID we have generated, assigned to this column name. Product name generated, assigned to this column name. Quantity generated, assigned to this quantity. Unit price, discount, and total sales. For total sales, we have assigned right now as a 0, 0, 0. So let me execute this. So if you're going to check the data now, if you see data, let me print the data. If you say transaction ID, we got 1000 transaction IDs. Then second was whatever it is second. What is second? Region. Then 1000 regions. Then we have after a region, what we have basically product category. Then we have 1000 product category and so on. At the last, we have total sales. So this is the complete dictionary. Now one last change we have to do is basically the total sales we haven't calculated, right? So we have 1000 records now. So we will calculate total sales based on quantity, unit price, and discount. So we will use one loop. For I in the range, number of records are basically 1000. And what we will do, we'll pick the quantity value for every record. So I is basically 0 for 0th record. So the quantity will be picked, unit price will be picked, it will be multiplied, right? And then it will be multiplied with 1 minus discount. So for example, discount is 30%. So 1 minus that 0.3, it is going to become 0.7. So after discount, the price will be 0.7, right? 70% price. So that will be multiplied to this price. So we will get the total price for every record. So let's execute this and let us see now data. Let us execute this. You can see now, and here you can see earlier it was 0, 0, 0, 0, but here it is now we got a specific total sales. But this data is not properly visible. Can we make into the data frame? Yes, we can do it. So in Pandas, we have data frame function. We are going to pass dictionary, that data dictionary, and we are going to create as a sales df. So yeah, it has created now. Let's check the data frame which is created properly or not. You can see now. So we have a transaction ID, we have a region, we have a clothing, product category, we have sales date, we have customer ID, we have product ID, we have product name, quantity, unit price, and let me do one thing. You can see the total sales and so on. So we have 1000 records and 11 columns. It is generated. Can we save it? So to save it, basically what we can do. So dot underscore to underscore CSV is the function to save it, and we can give any name basically. So let me delete this particular. Let me delete this data set. I will show you. Let me delete this file, and let's give name as synthetic. You can give any name. Synthetic. Right, data sales data set, sales data dot CSV. Let's run this. So you can see the data set is generated. You can see the same data which we have already sent, right? So there are how much points data records are there? You can see 999, but we have started with 0 index, so it's 1000 records we have generated. So let me go back to here. And what I will do, I'll go to the top, right? I will not make any change. Let me save this notebook, and here instead of 1000 we'll make 10,000. So let us, and also at the same time we will verify. See, right now we have 1000 data points. The file size is 98 KB. So what we will do, we have made now 10,000 number of records, sorry. So let me go down and let me just run all the cells, execute all above cells, right? So it will execute one by one. It has generated now, and let us now see, open preview. You can see how many number of records we have. See, we have 9,999. We have started with 0. 10,000 records are generated. So this data set is generated 10,000. Let's observe the size. So you can see now. Let me refresh this. So we got this as 981. Earlier it was 98 KB, right? Let's do one thing. let me close this. Can we generate 1 lakh? Let's make one more 0. Save this, run all. It is executing. Let me go back to say, you can see 9 MB now. Let me open this file. You can see this data is generated. So this data set looks like a real data set, but it's not a real data set. It's a synthetic data. And you can see we have 1 lakh rows now. You can see 99,000. This you can say this side number. It's 1 lakh. We can generate 10 lakhs also. So in this video, I have shown the way using which we can generate the data sets for our requirements. So it's not like that this way will be applicable as it is for you guys. You can just treat this as the starting point, and you can trace this idea, and you can just generate your data set as per your requirements. So there are some problems in this data set also. Let me talk about that also. So for example, we have product category, and product category is basically clothing, and we have basically product name. Product name is generated as product 7, product 20, product 7, and so on, right? So it's generating randomly, right? So there is no relation between product category and product name right now, but in real case there should be some relation. For example, if product 7 is basically from clothing category, so wherever product 7 comes, that should be under clothing category itself, right? It should not be under electronics, it should not be under automobile, and so on. So this dependency is there in the real data sets. Right now these are basically random values, random data. So I will give one task to you guys, so you can generate the same kind of data with those certain conditions. Try to make the relation between product name and product category. That can be one thing. So I'm just telling some few ideas using which you can improve the data set. Also, there are some couple of third-party tools and libraries using which we can generate the data. And one of the library available named as Faker, right? If you search a Faker, then you can generate some fake data also. The link for source code and other materials I will add into the particular video description. I think that's it for this video. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe for more data and AI related content. Thank you very much.